God preserve you. Good night. Can I do something for you?
I'll be with you. I'm looking for Sakuno. Sakuno? Baron Rickvold. Isn't this his camp?
You won't get nothing out of him. You must be Radzig's man. I heard he was supposed to send someone.
Yes, Sir Radzig sent me as a guide. I'm Henry.
I'm Jakey. And this here fella, we call the Stone.
I can see why. What's up with him? Cat got his tongue?
No, more like the dog got it. The executioner's dog. When the executioner ripped it out of him. Anyway, you better come along with me. I'll introduce you to the other fellas. And the chief. These here are the Bearman brothers, Petter and Jan. They're a barrel of laughs, except when they're too drunk to string two words together. Like now. Don't get on the wrong side of them, though. When their blood is up, well, it ain't a pretty sight.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, I'm sure.
Never mind the fancy poses, Stefan. You're trying to kill the fucker, not teach him how to dance. And you, Dangler, stand your ground. Don't let him lead you round by the nose.
Sir? Well, sir, this is Henry. From Lord Kobler.
Ah, it's about time Radzig got round to this. We need someone who knows their way around these parts. Leave off with the bowing and curtsying. We don't hold with that tomfoolery here. Jakey! Where the hell are you sneaking off to? Go to the farm and get water. The lads are thirsty.
But I went last time.
And you'll go next time, you ungrateful pup. Get your ass moving. Snot-nosed brat. You pull them out of a pile of shit, and they thank you with back talk. Where were we? Oh yeah. We need a guide who knows these parts. So I hope I can rely on you, Herman.
It's Henry.
Right. Well, as I said to Radzig, I don't want to carry any dead weight. We could find ourselves in some very tight situations where every sword counts.
I know how to handle a sword, all right?
I've heard a lot of fellas say that. They still ended up on the wrong end of one. We'll find out. Stefan, take a break. Dangler, let's find out what Harold here can do.
Sure. No problem, Chief. Quitting. You know how this one ends. Fuck! Mrtka! Well, man!
You didn't fare badly at all, I must say. You can ride with us.
All right, good. Thanks.
Don't thank me yet. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for.
Sir Kuno, can you tell me something about yourself?
Drop the sir. That title brought me nothing but grief. But what do you want to know?
Sir Radzig told me the Rickvold family lost its wealth. How did that happen?
There's all sorts of ways to become impoverished. Nothing easier. Especially when your father's a fool. And your mother's mad as a bat.
Oh.
But it's a long and twisted story. We took our name from Rickvold Castle. But that actually belonged to the convent of the Poor Clares in Tynitz. And my father only leased it. You see, he knew the abbess there since they were young. Knew her very well. There was even talk that she only joined the order because her family wouldn't let her marry him. Anyway, whether he was fucking her right there in the convent, or he just took a lot of interest in scripture, he spent an awful lot of time in Tynitz.
Oh, he might have been after a bit of both.
Sinning and confessing all in one place. Well, I can see the convenience of it. Anyway, my mother never had strong nerves. Truth be told, her sanity was always shaky. Pa's escapades drove her cuckoo entirely. Then, one frosty December morning, I was woken by screaming and smoke. I looked out the window. I saw my mother there, in the courtyard, wreathed in flames. Behind her, the stables, the farm buildings, and the tower were burning too. And she just stood there, shrieking with laughter.
Christ. That sounds like a scene straight out of hell.
Hellish it was, I can tell you. Me and my sister Adela and a few servants managed to get out before the whole place went up. I couldn't get to my father. Or my little brother. Poor lad was only 7. My sister and I were left destitute after the fire. But then my cousin, Adam of Drevich, took us into his castle. A few weeks later, he offered to buy what was left of our estates and sell me a small fortress near a Kovnik. It was a great relief. We suddenly had some hope of a future again. So I told my sister about it. And it was the biggest mistake of my life. A week later, the two of them announced to me they were getting married. And all that was left of our estates, lands, woods, villages, Adela was to get it all as a dowry.
But surely that was for you to decide. You were the head of the family, right?
Aye. Only I barely had 17 years under my belt, and I'd just lost everything. Of course, I argued with them, and that was the only excuse they needed to kick me out of Drevich too.
That's pretty harsh.
You're telling me. But I'm not complaining. As my pa always used to say, if you can turn your hand to something, you'll never be lost. I doubt it ever crossed his mind how often I'd remember those words.
What about your debt to Sir Radzig? How did that come about?
A twist of fate, lad. I was fighting in the hostilities between the House of Schallenberg and the town of Colleen. Some trade dispute it was, and I fought under the Schallenberg colours. In the end, the two sides negotiated a truce, and I rode to Colleen with the delegation that was to parley there. We stopped off at an inn on the way, and it was there that I met Radzig Kobyla. I could tell at first sight he was a man after my own heart. A likeable rogue, with a sharp mind and a merry soul. We spent the whole night drinking together and talking, and in the morning we set off together, with sore heads, but in good temper, since he was travelling the Colleen same as I was. Only, once we reached the city gates, they arrested me on the spot. Seems the burghers had it in for me, since I'd been making their lives hell for a good 6 months. On the other hand, I was a member of the peace delegation, so by rights, they shouldn't have even looked at me sideways. And then it hit me why Radzig was there. Colleen is a royal city, so he was there to represent the king's interests.
I see. So he was on the other side.
That's right. Anyway, they threw me in a dungeon, and a few days later word reached me that the Schallenbergs had reached an agreement with the burghers. Only part of the deal was they would give them my head. And I'd surely have ended my days swinging from the town battlements if it hadn't been for Radzig. He liked me, and he could see it was a dirty trick, so he somehow squared things with the city council.
Lucky for you.
Indeed. I owe my life to Radzig, and I'll never forget it. He's asked me twice before for help. This is the 3rd time, and how could I refuse him?
Sir Radzig told me the...
It's all so...
Oh.
But it's a long... You see... Anyway.
Oh.
Sinning... Anyway. Then, one...
Christ.
Hellish it was. My sister and I... A few weeks later... It was a great relief. A week later...
But surely...
Aye. You're telling me...
I'd like to ask about your men.
Ask away.
What about the fellow they called Dangler?
I've never ridden with a better man, I can tell you. He doesn't say a lot, but for that, he listens all the better. Nothing escapes him.
So he scouts for you?
Not just that. It's happened more than once. I was closing a deal with someone, and Dangler told me after that he didn't like the smell of the fella nearly every time he was right, and the fellow tried to stab me in the back afterwards.
Those Behrman brothers are quite a pair.
Indeed they are. There's no more mercy in them than in, well, a bear. If I told them to skewer you on the spot, they'd do it, without batting an eyelid.
Jesus.
Oh, aye. They'd argue first about which one of them got to do the job. but they're as obedient as a huntsman's dogs. Real soldiers, the pair of them. Reliable, as long as they don't get too drunk. Then there's no keeping them under control. But nobody's perfect.
What can you tell me about Stefan?
Fletching, for one thing, he's a very resourceful fellow.
How did he come to join your band?
Well, let's just say he was in the right place at the right time. You'll find he has quite a knack for that.
What exactly happened?
Sorry, I'd love to tell you the whole story, but I'd be betraying his trust.
Oh, now you've got me curious. Maybe I should ask him myself.
Sure, why not? Our Fletch does love to converse.
What about that dumb one? How did he end up with you?
The stone? Oh, he just kind of tagged along.
Just like that?
Aye, just like that. We were riding from Olomouc to a castle past Kladsko, when we ran into him and some other wayfarers camping along the way. You know how it goes. We made acquaintance with them, had a drink or two. Then we travelled on together. After all, there's safety in numbers.
I'm not sure I'd be thinking that if I ran into you lot on the road.
We might have done some things I ain't proud of, but wayfarers are sacred even for me. Anyway, our fellow travellers dropped off along the way. One in Mohelnitz, one in Schoenberg, and the rest in Kladsko. Except for the stone. He stuck with us the whole way. The fellas kept asking him what he was after, but of course he never said a word. When we were approaching Barsdorf, I ordered the men to get rid of him. I had some business at the castle, and I didn't want any strangers sticking their noses in. Stefan tried to tell him nicely, but he just sat there, staring like he was turned to stone. That's when we gave him the name. Then the Bearman brothers tried to get him off his horse. He booted Jan in the face and knocked him out cold. Then he jumped down and felled Petter with one punch. A man who can do that is a man you want on your side. So we kept him.
Weren't you worried about having a stranger in your band? Especially one who didn't talk.
No, I figured if he can't talk, he can't tell. Besides, I've had worse.
What about Jakey?
Jakey, that boy will be the death of me. You've got to be tough on him, or he's good for nothing. But I'm fond of him, in a way.
Like a son?
I wouldn't go that far. But I've no family of my own. And unlike those other cutthroats, he seems to me like a good lad.
Well, you're pretty hard on him, though. And the others keep him on his toes, too.
The boy needs a firm hand. I was like him once, and I got the same too. If we let him be, we'd end up with a third bear man. And who'd want that?
True. 2 is more than enough.
God preserve you, good knight. Can I do something for you?
Is there somewhere I could sleep here?
All right. For how long?
How about if I pay you for several nights?
Sure, but groschen first. These are harsh times.
Here you go.
You've got it all to yourself. No one will disturb you. Goodbye.
I'm honoured that a knight such as you takes an interest in me. Take care now. God be with you.
My respects to you. May the Lord watch over you.
Come here, you fucker, or I'll punch your gob for you.
Got weak at the knee.
Good boy. That's my boy. Look what I've got for you. You'll love this.
Good day to you. What do you need? God be with you.
I hope I can be a help to you, knight.
Take care now.
Good evening.
I'd like to make use of the bathhouse's services.
So what are you interested in?
A bit of everything. Heal my wounds, have a proper bath. Oh, and my garments are in need of laundering.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied. God bless.
Sakra. It's hellishly deep here.
Henry, I'm glad you came.
God grant you health. How may I help you? Good luck then.
I'd like to discuss the price.
All right, sir.
What about this?
Well now, a little more and we'll shake on it. Finally, a reasonable sum.
Good man, may I disturb you for a moment?
What is it then?
It's about this. I challenge you to a duel, sir.
What?
You heard? Don't try to wriggle out of it. Let's get to it.
I'm not in the habit of fighting to the death with fellows I meet by chance on the road. Tell me first what this is all about.
What's happening is I'm challenging you to a duel. You disgusting man. I spit in your face.
Eager, aren't you? Who are you, anyway?
I am Sir Oldbrum of Lossany.
Pleased to meet you, Sir Oldbrum. So, what are you after?
My mother sent me out to get some experience. She's obsessed with tales of chivalrous knights. In short, she sent me off looking for some virgin to save, and to win glory in combat. But I have to admit, I'm not very good at it.
Look, dueling's all fine and dandy, but shouldn't you start with looking for that virgin? There's lots of pretty maids around these parts. One or two might still be virgins.
That never occurred to me.
Once you've done that, you might see this dueling differently.
True. If I'm fighting for the love of my life, my courage will know no bounds.
Ah, that's not quite what I had in mind, but so be it.
Thank you for your encouraging words.
Glad to be of service, sir.
Never mind. Huh? I only hope some Christian soul will give me a proper burial.
So, it's all clear to me now.
Boys, who are you? You've no business here.
I'm Henry, and I was expecting to find you here.
What? How could you?
Sir Divish's locator went missing around these parts.
Well, it seems like he's all out of luck, don't it? Divish ought to have sent someone better than you to parley.
He didn't send me to parley, he sent me to deal with it.
Deal with it? There's plenty of us, and you're on your own. So I'd think twice about how you're gonna deal with that.
Let him go, right now. Or you can stay here and feed the crows, like the rabble who were here before you.
All right. No need to be hasty, eh? Oh, we'll be on our way then. Quietly. That fella's in the tent over there.
Psst! I'm being held captive. Help! Thank you.
My pleasure. Sir Divish sent me to find you, and it looks like I arrived just in time.
God's truth.
I'm Henry of Scalitz.
My name is Marius Belek, Master Locator. Sir Divish sent me here to survey the area.
Well, the outlaws are out of the way, so we can go and report to him, right?
Not just yet. Those bastards caught me as soon as I arrived, and so far all I've seen is the inside of the tent they tied me up in. I still have a job to do. Come along with me, if you like. We'll report to Sir Divish afterwards.
I'll escort you then. At least I can make sure you don't get caught again.
What? Are there more of those bandits around?
No, I just meant... Never mind. Should we get going?
This is a good spot for the rat house. Every village must have one. It'll be nice and prominent here. It's on the hillside, so the foundations will stay dry. It can have its own little square, close to the church. There's no better site here. The church is still standing. Good. Good. Whoever built it did a good job. Considering how old it is and what it's been through recently, it stood up well. It won't be an easy job to fix it, but it can be done. Timber alone won't do, though. We could fit at least one tradesman's shop here. Maybe a baker's? There's quite a lot of space here. It just needs clearing thoroughly. Then we could even fit stables here. Main approach road and the stream. This bridge needs reinforcing. It won't last long in this condition. I reckon it would make sense to build a weir over the stream down there. The water here is clean and can be used to supply the village until we sink a well. It's a good thing we have this stream. No point in building without a water source. Supplies and trade will flow through here. I can't even see past the trees and ruins whether there's room for anything there. But at least the trees are strong and healthy. All we need is a few good woodcutters, and we won't have to bring in any timber from elsewhere. Stone foundations. They'll come in handy, and we're close to the stream. Lots of space here. There's a well here already.
That's that then. The most essential surveying is done.
So, Master Locator, ready to start building?
There's a long way to go before that. The few ruins that are left are basically beyond repair. It's all overgrown with brush.
Oh dear.
We'll have to get it all cleared before we can start rebuilding it.
So it is possible to rebuild everything?
Yes, absolutely.
But building a whole village is no small enterprise.
We'll need timber, lots of it, which isn't a problem in the middle of the woods, of course. We'll have to hire wage labor to begin with. Quite a lot of men. I think we should get started without delay. There's a lot of work involved, but it'll be well worth the effort. I can just imagine it. The church will dominate the whole settlement.
That's good news. When will you inform Sir Divish?
Why wait? I'll head to Talmberg right away. But would you keep an eye on things here in the meantime? It would be rather embarrassing to run into more bandits when I return with Sir Divish.
No problem. I'll be right here.
It shouldn't take us long. My lord, welcome to Pribyslavitz. That is to say, welcome back to Pribyslavitz after all these years. Well, what's left of it.
Not to worry, Marius. I'm glad to be back in my old hamlet, although it seems to have aged about as gracefully as I have over the years.
I beg to differ, sir. It's quite dilapidated, unlike your good self, but at least it's safe now. Thanks in part to Henry here, who also saved me from a predicament that cost me valuable time. Who knows? If it hadn't been for him, we might not even be talking now.
Well, lad, in the end, you managed things in your own way, I see. Just as you said you would.
I did my best, sir. They didn't look all that tough, so I put a bit of pressure on them and they took to their heels.
You were outnumbered and you scared them off?
They were greenhorns. I think they may have been a bit intimidated by me.
Let's hope they don't try anything like that again.
I'm quite sure they won't, sir.
Let's get down to the matter in hand, shall we? What state is Pribyslavitz in?
Sir, in my official capacity as locator, I am gratified to inform you that the hamlet of Pribyslavitz may be renewed. And indeed it offers prospects of considerable expansion beyond its former limits.
Splendid! Finally, some good news for this province.
And badly needed, too.
So, what have you discovered so far? I want to know all the details.
We had a scout around.
We conducted a basic survey, from which we can make a preliminary outline of the parcels. I already have in my head an initial plan of what can be built where.
We should certainly have a church. I'd like to preserve the existing one.
That should present no serious obstacles. The building is in much better condition than we anticipated. But extensive reconstruction will be required.
That's to be expected.
There's a stream here, and a well, right in the middle of the village.
Yes, and there are abundant woods around. Clearing them will provide both extra land and timber supplies that we can use right away.
Right now, I believe we're standing on the village green, aren't we?
The future green, that is. The village centre will comprise at least 6 large buildings to begin with. We can't fit any more than that here, so there will be other buildings away from the square, in particular more extensive structures.
I'm glad to hear it. I never expected you'd find so much space here in the middle of the woods. The building work we're about to engage in is only the first part of my plan. Later, we'll clear more forest for agricultural land and build more farmhouses. But for now, we'll have to focus on more sensible goals.
As you wish, my lord.
Rebuilding a whole village must cost a king's ransom, though.
It's true it won't come cheap. Before the tradesmen settle here and start producing and trading, it will be necessary to invest a certain amount of capital.
A certain amount? How much exactly?
I wouldn't venture to state a precise amount at this point, but I expect it will come to some thousands, even tens of thousands of groschen.
Well, that much? I hope you're good at haggling.
We shall, of course, attempt to procure everything at the best possible price. But raising a settlement from the ashes you see around you is a costly business. Nevertheless, I can assure you, my lord, that if all goes well, the investment shall all come back to you with interest.
I hope I shall live to enjoy it, Master Marius.
A village isn't a village without villagers. You'll need new subjects. Even preparing the ground for building will need lots of labour. Where can we find so many people, sir?
You sound skeptical, lad, but it's a good question. I've already given it some thought. I've agreed with Radzik and Hanish that we shall make an announcement in Rattay to invite people to move here and help with the construction, which will bring them many benefits, but also obligations. In addition, I expect the prospects of a new home will appeal to your former Skalitz neighbors more than a makeshift camp by the castle walls.
They'll be delighted, sir.
A splendid solution, sir. I've also been concerned about how to bring settlers here, but now it seems there will be no shortage of new inhabitants after all.
It seems things are finally looking up. We routed the bandits in battle, and Henry took care of the remnants. When can we get to work?
Right away, as far as I'm concerned. All we need is people and the necessary funds, and we'll need someone to keep order, at least in the interim.
True. I'll leave you some of my men.
If I may, I would recommend quickly appointing a bailiff to take responsibility for the renewal of the village, its coffers and its citizens.
True. First things first. Since you understand these matters best, you shall take charge of the land parceling and building works. You'll be available to the bailiff, but answerable directly to me.
I'd be honored, sir. Thank you.
And, as regards the office of bailiff, what about you, Henry?
Yes, sir?
You've proven yourself well. You've demonstrated that you're capable of solving problems, and you command the respect of your former Skalitz neighbors.
Well, I'm not so sure.
And you're also capable of maintaining law and order.
I must concur.
So, let us expedite matters. Henry, I hereby appoint you to the office of bailiff of the hamlet of Pribyslavitz, in my domain.
My lord, it's a great honor. Thank you.
You will oversee the initial renewal and administration of the village that will set the ground for further development. But don't imagine it'll be a bed of roses, lad. Being bailiff doesn't mean you can do whatever you like. If you don't treat the settlers rightly, I'll soon find out and relieve you of your office. Besides, we can't spare a single groschen from the Talmberg coffers now, with the province in chaos. So, you'll have to cover the cost for the building work from your own purse.
Me? But Marius said it would cost a fortune.
True, but from what I hear, you know how to get your hands on coin enough. So, I expect you'll manage it just fine.
I'd like to know who's been spreading such gossip.
And I am assigning you certain specific tasks. You must ensure the rebuilding of the church. That means complete reconstruction, wall paintings, and a new altar. See to it that in the future, the village will be capable of supporting a certain number of people. For that, you will need to ensure the construction of essential artisans' buildings. And ultimately, the village must produce sufficient earnings to fund further expansion.
But, sir, I've never done...
I understand your concerns, but you'll be handsomely rewarded. I shall grant you the proceeds from the whole village for the first 5 years, and you have my permission to use the surrounding woods and land as you see fit.
Well, that's, I mean... Are you sure I'm the right man for the job, sir? It's a lot of responsibility.
As you said yourself, Henry, it's a great honor. Besides, you won't be alone in it. I'll assist you and supervise the construction work.
Phew. All right, then.
So, we're agreed. You'll give this document to the Rattay bailiff. He'll make the announcement to invite settlers, which should ensure enough people to begin work. At the same time, your official appointment as bailiff will be announced.
I don't know what to say, sir.
I'm sure you won't disappoint me, Henry. And now I must get back to my duties at Talmberg. Send word when everything is prepared.
Certainly, sir. Have a safe journey.
Farewell, sir.
kettles for water, baskets for food,
Cucumbers, lovely cucumbers, asparagus and prunes.
Master Bailiff, is there anything of interest going on here?
I should say so. The bishop's vicar came to Ujits, and not even Sir Hanush knows what he's after in these parts. Something must be up, but I couldn't tell you more than that.
I have a document for you from Sir Divish. It concerns the renewal of Pribyslavitz.
The village you drove those bandits out of?
The very same.
So it's true, then? Good. Good. Let me see that document, then.
Here it is.
So what have we here? It says I should announce that anyone interested may move to Pribyslavitz to live and work. And Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush also give their consent. In that case, let's not waste any time. Come along with me. God be with you.
Onions that'll even make your man
Flour,
cry
egg,
like a little
salt,
lass.
yeast.
Come and buy
Let it
some.
bake a bit, and you'll be able to feed the whole family with fresh bread.
Cucumbers, lovely cucumbers, asparagus and prunes. Vegetables, fresh vegetables. Look, smell, aren't they lovely?
and tools. Everything for work and home.
God.
Hear ye, hear ye. It is hereby announced, in the name of Sir Hanush and Sir Divish, that you, the citizens of Ratai, as well as those who have found temporary refuge here, are permitted to move to the hamlet of Pribyslavitz, to the north of Talmberg Castle, wherein you shall be vouchsafed a new life and new dwellings, providing that you shall contribute to the renewal of the hamlet. All those who choose to accept this offer shall be exempted from payment of taxes for a period of 5 years. They shall be permitted also to make use of timber from the surrounding woods and water from the streams. The hamlet of Pribyslavitz lies in the domain of Sir Divish of Talmberg, and all who settle there shall be duty-bound to him. It is furthermore hereby announced that Henry of Skalitz is appointed to the administration of Pribyslavitz and the office of bailiff therein, which office and privilege have been conferred upon him by Sir Divish for loyalty and services rendered. I would therefore recommend that our Skalitz friends consider this offer very seriously, as nothing better is likely to come your way anytime soon.
Thank you. I'll pray for you.
you after here, you fucker? I can see you're not from around here, and we've had no one coming here lately but bastards like you causing trouble. Now you'll be sorry. What were you expecting? Hand over your coin.
You want coin, do you? For the funeral, I suppose? A coffin and a priest? Sorry, but your old woman will have to pay for that. Better start running if you don't want to die.
Come now. No need to get upset. It's just a bit of banter. Nothing more. So, I'll be on my way then. Farewell.
Heel, mutt.
Welcome back. What news from Ratai?
Well, the bailiff read Sir Divish's decree, and now I'm officially bailiff of Pribyslavitz.
Then allow me to congratulate you. What will be your first step?
First, actually, I'm not quite sure. What would you recommend?
As it happens, I already saw to a few things in your absence. You might have noticed that the first people have come from Ratai.
Yeah, I saw some heading here right away.
So when they arrived, I was able to start clearing building plots with them. After they'd erected some temporary dwellings, that is.
So we're ready to get things started?
As long as you know what you want to build, I can show these new people what to do. We'll be building on the sites we've measured out. You can go and look them over first, if you like.
I'll do that. I'll see what's going to be built where.
Nevertheless, I doubt you'll be able to figure that out just from looking at the sites.
How do I choose what to build where?
I've already given it some thought on your behalf. I even wrote it all down in the accounts ledger. Everything will be recorded there. I'll make a note of every change as we proceed.
Thanks. That'll be a big help. And where can I find this book?
It will always be kept at the Rat House.
Well, there's nothing here, so we'll have to build everything. Ale house, bakery, butchers, rat house. Did I mention ale house?
Eventually. But be warned. To begin with, it's always best to start with facilities that will be producing construction materials for everything else. And since we'll mainly be using timber, it makes sense to set up a woodcutter's camp.
All right. And then what?
That depends. Every building has its use, but you'll soon get the grasp of it, and it's all in the ledger.
What about the workers' wages and buying materials for artisans?
The money must be put in the trunk here. The expenditures for wages and materials will be taken from it, so you should keep it topped up to prevent delays. Which reminds me, there's the matter of my own pay to be resolved.
Yes, of course.
Sir Divish guaranteed me a fixed income. What's more, this job is an exceptionally big one.
I see. But how much are you thinking?
I have a record of payment here somewhere. Here it is. Let's say 1/4 more than that.
All right. This amount ought to correspond to your work.
It seems we understand each other. I agree.
Good. I'll put your wages in the trunk, too. Are you sure it's quite safe?
Quite. Only you and I shall have a key and access to the trunk. Besides, we'll have guards on watch here.
That's reassuring.
That's about all to begin with. If you need any more details, I'll be happy to explain things to you.
Could you explain something to me? What are my duties as bailiff?
As bailiff, you must see to it that the village grows and prospers. You'll have to resolve disputes between citizens and decide what I should have built. The coin for it will come from your own purse. Basically, you'll have to keep the whole locality under control, but you can't just do whatever you like. You're still answerable to Sir Divish, as am I.
Which means
that if the folk here are unhappy, word will soon get to Sir Divish, and he'll put you in your place. So you'd better see to it that there's no thieving, and folk have jobs to do, and their wages are paid.
Of course. I'll keep a close eye on things. How do I build houses?
First, find out how much it'll cost, and whether the upkeep won't ruin you. Everything is written in the ledger. You can check it all there, or just come and see me.
Sure. How do the accounts work?
The most important thing is to know how much profit your buildings generate, and what they cost to operate. That's written on the very first page of the ledger, which will be kept at the Rat House. Whenever we erect a new building, I record it there, and you'll find all the profit generated by the village in the trunk next to the ledger.
And what if we spend more than we earn?
Then you'll have to put the amount necessary for covering the operating costs into the trunk.
I see. Probably best to have a little extra there for a rainy day then. How do operating costs work?
Those are the workers' wages, costs of material and equipment for tradesmen, and so on.
And what if I don't have enough coin?
Then production will grind to a halt. Watch out for that. Folks soon get grouchy if they're not getting paid. The amount needed each day is recorded in the accounts ledger too. So you should keep enough in the trunk to cover the wages.
And how do I pay the workers?
Don't concern yourself about that. I'll take care of it. As long as you provide the coin.
So I could put enough money there for, say, 3 days in advance?
Indeed. Simple enough, isn't it?
All right. Thanks. How can I get new people to come to the village?
Don't worry about that. Folk will gradually turn up of their own accord when there are houses for them. Each building can house a certain number of people. The bigger the house, the more inhabitants. And the more space you have for them, the more country folk will come here in search of a better livelihood.
What about tradesmen?
I can find you fairly competent ones, but if you can get really skilled artisans, it will certainly be a boon for the village income. Although it's not all that easy to get skilled people. You could ask around.
I see. Any suggestions?
You could try asking the 2 Sasau armourers for a start. They're always at each other's throats, so maybe one of them could work here. But don't forget to get a forge and armoury workshop set up for him. Otherwise you'll only be wasting his time.
Right.
I'll go and have a word with them later. I must give some thought to who else would come in handy here. Thanks. How can I improve the buildings?
The process is exactly the same as for building from the ground up. We need to have enough coin, materials, and of course, something to improve. It goes without saying that there's no point in better blacksmith's equipment if you've no forge to put it in.
Well, I can't argue with that. But why bother with improvements at all?
Because they make it possible to produce better goods that can be sold at a higher price, so we'll earn more money.
Nothing, actually. I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
I'd rather not build anything just now.
Who are you? Will I never? Who are you? Will I never? What?
Well, I never.
Hey!
Marius, there's work to be done.
Good choice. Come with me.
We're gonna build here?
Yes. Shall we get started?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. All good. We can start construction.
So, how am I doing with the village?
Let's see. You're still far from having the income you need to make the village prosper. Well, the village isn't ready yet for the expansion Sir Divish is planning. The church is still in ruins. Doesn't create a good impression. We're on the right track, but we haven't reached the end yet.
All right, I'll get stuck in. I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
we'll need plenty of tools, and they'll need repairing too. So we have to have a blacksmith.
It's impossible. Check what you need in the ledger.
Trade is important, and we'll have a wagon bringing goods in, so we'll build a trader's store.
It's impossible. Check what you need in the ledger.
I'd rather not build anything just now.
Mother of God! Mother of God! Hey! Who are you?
Marius, there's work to be done.
That shouldn't take too long.
I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
Trade is important, and we'll have a wagon bringing goods in, so we'll build a trader's store.
It's impossible.
I'd rather not build anything just now. We're going to build here?
Yes. Shall we get started?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. We've got what we need. Let's get to work.
I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
Trade is important, and we'll have a wagon bringing goods in, so we'll build a trader's store.
It's impossible. Check what you...
I'd rather not build anything just... Marius, there's work to be done.
Good choice. Come with me.
We're gonna build here?
Yes. Shall we get started?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. We've still got the means. We'll get stuck in then.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
Take care. So, how am I doing with the village?
Let's see. You're still far from having the income you need to make the village prosper. You'll need to get the tradesmen working better and creating space for more people. The church is still in ruins. Doesn't create a good impression. We're on the right track, but we haven't reached the end yet.
All right, I'll get stuck in.
Good luck then.
Just the kind of weather I like.
Me too.